and sunny and lovely and dry. I have to fucking laugh at some issues last night when I made the video that why I support population reduction. You think I was fucking Lord Rothschild or something the way I reacted. All I fucking asked for is for uh, families to have no more than 2 children worldwide, and then we avoid famine in about 4 or 5 decades, maybe less. I mean, that's all I said. I wasn't saying castrations and mandatory abortions. You see, this is your sheeple 2.0 thing again here, and some of you were like really fucking rude to me, and but then others punished me with the ultimate punishment. I shall unsubscribe from Sheridan. So 11 of you unsubscribed. Farewell, adios. I'll miss you so much. 1,000 more will replace you in a couple of weeks. Yeah, they think they're fucking protest. All I said was, if they don't start reducing the population back to 1970s levels, we can probably avoid a famine in about, 3 or 4 decades, a global famine. But, people hear see the words population reduction and they think of fucking Lord Rothschild cutting someone's bollocks off. That's not what I'm advocating at all. I was advocating with smaller families. But anyway, we live in a hysterical age and people are prone to hysteria and inability to think. And Speaking of mandatory contraception, if Greta Thunberg isn't an advertisement for mandatory contraception, I don't know what is, which leads me to what today's video is about. Where is the actual proof of a pandemic? Now, I'm not saying where's the proof of COVID-19. I'm not saying where's the proof of people dying of seasonal viruses. I'm asking where's the proof of a pandemic? Bringing us back to Sweden again. If there was a pandemic that was as virulent and as pernicious as the WHO and all the experts have told us, then Sweden, that has had no lockdown, should literally have millions of deaths. I'm not talking about, Sweden did have 42% more deaths than the neighbouring Scandinavian countries because they didn't lock down. No. A few, say 3,000 or 4,000 more deaths is not the same thing as a pandemic. A pandemic would be 50, 60, 70,000, 80, 100,000 deaths. Sweden, according to the criteria outlined by the WHO and the globalists and the experts, should have literally had millions of deaths. There's a population of 10 million in Sweden. That we should have been looking at something like 2 or 3 million deaths by now. Corpses piling up on the streets of Gothenburg, Malmo, Stockholm, Uppsala. Where are they? Oh, the Swedes they're so highly responsible people, they do what they're told. Does it, no, hold on a second. Yes, they did make sure that the vulnerable, people with cancer and the elderly and so on, were made safe as possible. But otherwise, life went on. Otherwise, life went on pretty much as normal. Where are the deaths? Where's the pandemic? Another one. They shut down our cities and all commercial life, but people are still piled into public transport, metro systems, subways, trams, buses, trains in the same massive numbers. How come they're not all dead? And they say, it's because they're all wearing the mask, mask, and they're all social distance. They're not social distance. Their hands are, there should be, if there was a pandemic, there should be millions dead, even with, the death rates should be off the scale. Now, we all saw them, we all know that everyone was hypnotized and with the initial lockdown propaganda with the Wuhan videos and the welding apartment building shut and people dropping dead on the streets. When you look at it now, it looks so fake and phony or something. And that was enough to spellbound people into a state of absolute terror. And while I totally agree with, I don't have any problem with the first initial lockdown and people being worried, it was non-stop, the propaganda. But where are all the deaths? For instance, no one's social distancing in Africa and places like that. And then they say, well, it's the sun. The sun kills viruses. Oh, you mean the sun that kills viruses in Africa, but didn't kill viruses when President Donald Trump said it kills viruses? The gaslighting contradictions are non-stop. If COVID exists, there should be millions dead in Africa. There's not. There should be millions dead in Sweden alone. There isn't. Don't worry, it's allergies. I don't have the COVID. And if I did, I'm pretty sure I'd survive it. But, and then they say, oh, the proof of the mask, the gaslighting is staggering. Well, the proof of the masks working is the fact that the flu has been eliminated. So the COVID is able to get through the mask, and why even bother wearing it? The flu and the COVID are the same thing. I'm sorry, that's any feasible state of logic would bring you to that conclusion. That the COVID-19 virus is the regular seasonal flu with a new name. I cannot believe it's not flu. That's really what COVID-19 is. And it's maybe slightly more pernicious, but Sweden is the one. Where are all the massive deaths? There's a bit more deaths, I agree with that. But there should be millions according to how bad they told us this virus was. There should be millions in Sweden alone. There isn't. And so today in Ireland there's a anti-lockdown march in Cork City. Go on, you bios. Go on, boy. Totally agree with those people down there in the Republic of Cork. Go out there and march. We've had the most vicious and draconian lockdown in Europe, and good luck to them. And I hope they do it. And I want to see marches in every city that's locked down. And the thing is, where are the millions dead in Texas? Immediately, if COVID is so dangerous, immediately we should have seen people dropping dead in Houston and Dallas. We should have seen them in Florida dropping down, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. They're not. And that proves that it's not a pandemic. I mean, I want to see, where's the proof of a pandemic? They say 1 million people died of it every year. And then they say, how many people died of the flu every year around the world? About the same. And they say, well, young people die of it. And healthy young people drop dead of the flu all the time. Every single year, the flu kills thousands upon thousands of healthy young people. Where's the pandemic? I want, that's all I'm asking for you. WHO, globalists, government and health authorities, can you please show me, other than spooky TV news reports, other than bureaucrats and civil servants appearing on television with charts and numbers behind them, other than man and a woman on the TV repeating what government told them to say, can you please show me, after 1 year, any proof that a pandemic happened? That's all I want to know. After 1 year, can you show me tangible proof that a pandemic happened? And the only way you could possibly show me proof of that is a control subject. And we had a control subject. The control subject was the nation of Sweden. If there was a pandemic, half of Sweden, or probably at least a third of it, would be dead by now, if the virus was as bad as what you said it is. Instead, a few thousand extra died in Sweden. Not half or 1/3 of the nation. Therefore, I'm still waiting. That's a simple question. And you guys all around the world should be asking the same thing. Where is the tangible proof of a pandemic? Where is it? Yeah, we know COVID exists. We know the virus exists. We know young people die of it, just like they died of flu. We know old people are dying in the homes, just like they died of flu. But I want to know, where is the tangible proof? The actual, where you can point to a place and go, look, plague happened. That's all I want. Plague happened. Oh, well, of course it didn't happen because we locked down everywhere. You didn't fucking lock down Sweden. Where is the mountains of corpses in Sweden? That's all I need to know. I want tangible proof. I'm not asking to prove that the earth is flat or anything like that. I'm not asking for anything crazy like that. I'm looking for something straightforward. A straightforward answer to why the control group, Sweden, is alive. Sweden should be an ex-nation by now. If that virus was as dangerous as what they told us it was, well, the Swedes are very healthy. No, stop the excuses. Show me a place where a pandemic happened. Just tangible proof. I don't want charts. I don't want scary music. I don't want Teleman and Telewoman on the news going, today's no. I want tangible proof of a fucking pandemic. A COVID-19. There is none. We're getting the same death rates we're getting every year that we get with every single fucking annual viral infection. And yes, again, young people die of the regular flu in surprisingly high numbers every year. This is something our bodies have to deal with. You cannot, and don't come to me like we successfully held off the pandemic. Yes, you would have a point if Sweden locked down. If they said to me, our lockdown and the measures we put into place have prevented a pandemic. Okay, are the Swedes super beings? Are they a different race of humans? Are they not infected by the same viruses? You see, this is Sweden is always going to be their Achilles heel on everything. Just show me where in Sweden the mountains of bodies are. Oh, but Sweden has an excellent healthcare system and they were able to handle. No, that's not the point. The word pandemic suggests massive millions, untold numbers of deaths happening at a colossal rate. Plague. Where is the fucking plague? Where is the tangible proof of the plague? There's only one control subject. It's the nation of Sweden, and they seem to have done pretty okay with it, without any lockdowns. That's all I'm asking. A straightforward question. Prove it. I'm not a conspiracy-minded person. That way, if there was proof brought forward, yeah, I've looked at the whole thing yet. There definitely is a COVID virus, and there definitely is variants. I've looked up the that's true. That really does exist. Whether the variants are deadly or anything, you don't know really for a time down the road. But all I want to know is, like, where is the proof of the word pandemic? I want to know where a pandemic is. That part. The part that you scared the living shite out of everybody on this planet with. Where is that? I want proof that there was a pandemic between 2020 and 2021. Very simple. All you have to do is say, there's the mountain of bodies. There's the hospitals that had people dying in the corridors. All we got was lies about that stuff. Lies. Every scumbag saying the hospital, before they told us the hospitals are piling up with corpses. They told us that in the media. Everyone was like, oh shit, that's bad. And what do we see? Nurses and doctors TikTok dancing. The TikTok nurses and doctors, and not just one or two videos, but fucking thousands of those videos, tended to undermine our argument that the bodies were mountains. There was mountains of corpses, and doctors and nurses dropping dead on the job of COVID. Doctors and nurses dropping dead in the hospitals of flus all the time. That's one of the reasons why doctors are a high-paid job, is because they risk infection themselves to a much higher degree just by being doctors. That's why one of the reasons they're paid so well. Where's the pandemic? I just want to know where. I'm not being unreasonable here. I'm not being, a fucking conspiratorial muppet for the sake of it. Show me tangible proof of the pandemic, and I will believe it. It's as simple as that. I don't think you can, because you're lying to us. You are lying motherfuckers. You are lying, evil, vicious, despicable motherfuckers. You are scum. You locked down a world and caused a pandemic of suicide. You locked down the world and caused a pandemic of lost childhoods. You locked down the world and caused an economic holocaust. A pandemic of poverty, hopelessness, depression, suicide, alcoholism, drug abuse, despondency, and human fucking misery. And it wasn't a virus from China that caused that. It was fucking you lot. You lied. There was no pandemic. And those people in Cork today, the ones on the street, God fucking bless yous. Yous are absolutely heroes. Just like the ones in Dublin last week. I'm talking about the ones who the one asshole attacked the police. The whole lot of you make me proud to be Irish, the ones on the streets today, because you've shown what one thing that you are, that the ones at home, screaming, getting sexually aroused, slathering their fucking minges and sexual organs on the seat, watching Leo Varadkar in his white coat pretending to be a fighter against the virus. When I was a fucking eye doctor, it was a cheap, tacky publicity stunt as clear as fucking day. At home, going, oh, Jesus, bless me, son. And another one, I'm gonna give you another group of heroes in Ireland. The Muslims who went to the mosques. Don't give me this shit. Oh, they let the Muslims go and the Catholics and Protestants were told to stay at home. No, the Muslims who went to the mosques in Ireland defied the fucking lockdown. They have more balls and dignity than all the Catholics and Protestants going, we weren't allowed to go to the church. No, their fucking clerics served their fucking congregation. Your ones, your Catholic and Protestant priests and so on, stabbed you in the fucking back. Don't be blaming them for having the balls to do something that you were too much of a coward to do. Are they afraid of the virus? Who has the real faith in God? I mean, I have to laugh at this stuff. They showed like some mosque somewhere in the Dublin city centre. I don't know, somewhere on Kevin Street area. There's like 150 fellas coming out on a Friday night, and they're going, "Look at these Muslims! They're ignoring the laws." And I'm like to myself, "They're right. It's obvious right now. There's no pandemic. Anyone who thinks there was a pandemic now has a vested interest in it and are being paid by big lockdown. Big oil, big tobacco, big lockdown. And that's what's going on. And so those people in Cork are heroes. The ones in Dublin are heroes, except the asshole who fired the rockets. And the Muslims who go to the mosques on a Friday night in Ireland against and ignoring the lockdown, they're heroes as well, because they're showing up the Catholics and Protestants who say they want to go back to mass for the cowards they are. I mean, if you really believe in your God, why are you afraid of dying anyway? Aren't you going to heaven? There's no pandemic. Well, I want proof of the pandemic. I don't want charts and graphs. I want tangible things you can point to, not photographs of standard paupers burials in New York City that happen all the time as a mass grave of the dead being sold off. I want fucking proof. And you know what? I don't think you can deliver it. See you later. Take care.